Well, hello, and welcome once again to another reflection from the Psalms. Today, we look at Psalm 93. Now, this is a relatively short psalm without much information as to the writer or to the circumstances in which it was written. However, there's still much for us to linger on and to reflect on in just a few simple words. So let me begin just by reading the psalm for us. Psalm 93. The Lord reigns. He is robed in majesty. The Lord is robed in majesty and armed with strength. Indeed, the world is established, firm and secure. Your throne was established long ago. You are from all eternity. The seas have lifted up, Lord. The seas have lifted up their voice. The seas have lifted up their pounding waves. Mightier than the thunder of the great waters, mightier than the breakers of the sea, the Lord on high is mighty. Your statutes, Lord, stand firm. Holiness adorns your house for endless days. Now, the whole premise for the psalm, the thesis of this psalm, so to speak, is found in the opening three words. The Lord reigns. That's it. The Lord reigns. Now, if you're familiar with this phrase or expression, or whether you're not familiar with it, the kingship and reign of God is a concept that I believe is one that we all need to consider deeply and carefully, and not simply just to understand it, but also to reflect on whether or not we are truly living with this reality in our lives. Back in the times of kings, or for those who currently live in a kingship type rule, regardless of whether that king is good or bad, or kind or cruel, just or unjust, you were a subject of that king and expected to live in certain ways. You would expected to speak well of your king, to honor your king. You were expected to give of yourself in service to the king and to the purposes of the king. You were to be committed to the kingdom purposes. You would have given a portion of your earnings, even your time, to the king, and so on. All as acts of homage, submission, and service to your king. Now, because we live in Western democracies, most of us are probably unfamiliar, or we don't understand the significant implications of living under the rule of a king and what that means for your own life. And while democratic governments such as ours allow for significant freedoms, it has probably taken away from our understanding and practice of what it means to live with God as our king. You see, we vote and we decide who is going to rule over us. We can vote them out if we don't like what they're doing. We protest when we disagree with certain legislations or policy decisions. Western democracy, even with all of its positives, really does fit into our Western worldview, of which one key characteristic is this: consumerism. Democracy feeds into our own consumeristic mindset and worldviews. Now, over the course of history, there have, of course, been good kings, bad kings, I would even say evil kings. But God not only rules over all, He is the perfect king. Perfect in justice, in discipline, in judgment, in mercy, in grace, and of course in love. The Lord reigns, and He invites us to willingly choose to enter into His kingdom through the sacrifice of His Son, Jesus Christ, and to become a citizen of heaven under His kingship. So, as you head into this day, or if you're finishing up your day, ponder this. Is your walk with God a consumerist Christianity, or is it a kingship Christianity? Do you strive to submit yourself fully to the reign of God in your life, or do you pick and choose, protest, complain when things don't go your way, or when God calls you to something that you're not prepared to do? God, our loving God, who demonstrated His love for us in the person of Jesus Christ, invites us to become citizens of the King, and our identity and authority in Him must fundamentally change who we are and who and what we live for. The Lord reigns. Well, thank you for joining us again. Trust that you have a wonderful day today, and go and live as a subject of our great and wonderful King. The Lord reigns.
As we hope in the Lord, we will gain our strength. We will run for miles. We will stand up straight. We will not grow weary. We will not grow faint. On the wings of an eagle we will rise. And as we hope in the Lord, we will gain our strength. We will run for miles. We will stand up straight. We will not grow weary. We will not grow faint. On the wings of an eagle